Hello. So today we'll be doing some questions under classification. We are done with the theory of classification. Like I said, it's very easy. Now we'll just practice more and more questions. So you guys will be fully thorough with the chapter, right? There will also be an example session. This is the example session. There will also be assignments that are shared, which will help you practice even more. Let's just start. Let's dive right into it. Most these are previous year questions, 2021, 2023. Most of the questions that we will be discussing today will be previous year questions. Okay. Okay, so let's begin. Find the odd one out. Scissors, knife, axe, hammer. When you think of scissors, what's the first thing you think of? Cutting, right? Scissors are used for cutting. Knife, also used for cutting. Axe, also used for cutting. Hammer is not used for cutting, so hammer is the odd one out. This was very simple. You only need to think about. So here, basically, the where this comes under is area of usage. But you don't even have to like put it on all these boxes. You don't have to be like, okay, should I think about the area of usage or should I think about anything else? Just use your common sense, just use your intuition. When you see these, when you think of scissor, the first thing you think about is cutting, right? So in that way, you can just see, okay, scissors, knife, axe, all of these seem to be similar. Hammer is not, therefore hammer is the odd one out. You can just do that. You don't have to, spend so much time. But broadly, this comes under the topic area of usage. Okay. Now, which of the following pairs of letters has as many alphabets between them in the above arrangement as there are between them in the English alphabet? Okay, this is an interesting one. So, I need to see, let's take the first option, AI. Between the A and I, the number of alphabets. So I'll just, okay, see how many letters do you have between A and I? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 letters, right? I need to see if as per the English alphabet A B C D E F G H I, do I have 7 letters between them? So one thing you can do is you can write all these alphabets and you can sit and count them, right? B C D E F G H I, you can count it, or another way of doing it, I'll tell you an easier way of doing it is just write it above. So, okay, wait, this was, sorry, this is 8, not 7, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 letters in between. Another thing you can do, instead of counting it, counting will take more time, right? Just write directly above this. Give me a second, let me just change the thickness. Okay. You can just write it directly above this. So, there is A here, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So you know that this is not the same because we started at A. If the number of letters are the same, when you started A, you should be able to end at I, right? But here I is corresponding to Q. So it's not the same. And even if you were to count, you would get it. So between A and I, there are 7 letters. But here there are 8 letters. So it's not the same, right? So even if you were to count, you would get it. But this just makes your work easier. Now, next, between E and L. So here, this is what you have. You have E, Y, C, K, A, V, L. How is it actually? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Again, see, not same. So, not the same though. Between L and S. Here, what do you have? You have, in the question, you have L, D, G, X, U, H, Q, I, S, right? U, H, Q, I, S. L, M, N, O, P. This is as per the English alphabet. Q, R, S. Again, not the same. Right, so these 3 do not work. So this has to be the right option, but we can also cross check. So between M and O, here you have M, P, O. How is it in the English alphabet? M, N, O, right? So now this is the only case where you're getting proper correspondence. So now you know the number of letters is the same, and that is 1. So there is 1 letter in between both of these, right? So that's a way of doing it. You can, it's not necessary that you sit and count the, otherwise see, you will have to count the number here and then the number here, and then there might be a mistake in counting, too much work. So just write it right below it, okay? That's much easier. Moving on. In the following series, how many KGN occur in such a way that G is in the middle and K and N are adjacent to it on both sides? Okay, so let's just look here. Here you have a kgl, so this you can't count this. Why? Because we wanted a kgn. Basically you want g in the middle and k and n should be adjacent on both sides. Okay, so this does not work. Here you have a kgc, does not work. You have an ngk. Now this is an interesting case. So the thing is, when you see a question like this, you will just be searching for kg answer. You'll be okay, where is the kg where is the kg? But one thing you need to remember is that in the question what is given is key, just g should be in the middle and k and n should be adjacent to it. That's it, on both sides. Kiss side has not been given. It can be whichever side. So ngk does work because देखो g is in the middle, k and n are adjacent on both sides. So why should ngk not work? ngk can work and it will work. Okay, so this works. And then you have a kgn here. This works. और क्या? और कुछ नहीं है, right? So it's a gke. This does not work. So here you have 2. So here the answer is 2. ठीक है. Going on, moving on. Choose the letters which is different from others. You have A, you have E, you have Z, you have N. Okay, so the thing is, if you look at vowels, E is the only vowel in this case. In that case, no, wait, that does not work because both A and E are vowels, right? So the vowel case does not work. और क्या है? So now since the vowel case does not work for letters, you really don't have anything. Say अगर numbers थे तो like when we studied number classification, we looked at even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers, square roots. There are a lot of things to check. यहाँ तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Like if letters do not, if the letters are not vowels, then there's nothing for you to do. So what do we do in such cases? Like I had mentioned earlier, is what you do. You just write the letters and their corresponding numbers. One second. A, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Till N is enough. Okay, I'll tell you why. So A, 1, 2. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So A is Z will be 26. You don't have to count till that, okay, because you know Z is the last letter and the English alphabet has 26 letters, so Z will be 26. So now you see, if is there anything that you can figure out? A is 1, A is 5, N is 14, Z is 26. Interesting. Now we'll see. So 1, 5, 14, 26 में कुछ है क्या? There's really nothing that you can say. Even if you look at odd number, does not work, nothing works. Let's see if there is some kind of pattern you can find between these numbers. So between A and E you have kitne letters? 3 letters, right? Between E and N, how many letters do you have? 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. Okay, do you see something? So here between E and N you have 8 letters. 8 can be written as 3 plus 5. Am I right? Now, if you see, so it's basically you have the number here, the spaces in the previous case plus the last letter. Do you see the patterns? Beautiful. So the space in the previous case plus the last letter, which is 3 plus 5 is 8. That's how you've got it. So now we have this formula. We just see if this formula works in the next case. So here, basically what do we need? So here the spaces is 8. You have 8 spaces. 8 plus 14. What is 8? 14 plus 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 carry. 1 plus 1 is 2, 22. But is Z at the 22nd position? No, Z is at the 26th position. So here Z does not follow our formula. So here Z is the odd one out. Okay. Now that was a simple question, but yeah, there's like something. So in such cases, basically just one thing for you to keep in mind is, in case of letters, when you don't see any vowels or anything, mostly in case of letters, what helps is finding the corresponding letter. Okay, the corresponding number. Sorry, yeah, you just find the corresponding number. Okay, this is what helps. Moving on, find the odd one out. Mother, father, wife, grandfather. Okay, so this is very simple. Mother, father, wife, grandfather. Mother, father, grandfather, all of these are what? Blood relations, right? Your wife is not somebody who's related to you until you actually get married to her, right? So this is what we call blood relations. blood relation. So बाकी सब like others are related to you the time you are born, your mother, your father, your grandfather, but your wife will be related to you only once you marry her. So she is the odd one out. For the next question, skin, nose, ear, kidney. All of these are found in a human body. So it's not that, it's not, okay, all of these are things that are found in the human body, so that does not work. What else? What do you, skin, nose, ear. When you look at a person, can you see all of these in that person? Yes. But can you see their kidney when you just look at them using your naked eye? No. Why? Because kidney is basically kidney is something that's inside the person. Baki three are not inside, right? So like the actual term for it is that kidney is an internal organ. Kidney is an internal organ. Skin, nose, and skin, nose, and ear are internal organs, and kidney is an external organ. Kidney is an external organ, so this will not work, and so kidney is the odd one out. Okay. Next, choose the odd one out. Inch, meter, yard, quart. Okay. So when you think of inch, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? It is a unit of length, right? Right. You use it to measure length. You say 12 inches or 6 inches or whatever. You use it for measuring length. Meter, again, it is used for measuring length. In fact, meter is the standard unit of length. Yard, again, is used for measuring length. Quart, have you heard of quart? Quart is not used for measuring length. In fact, it is used for measuring volume. So here, quart is the odd one out. So even if you have not heard of quart, you can guess, because inch, meter, and yard are all three used for length, right? So on the basis of that, you can guess. Okay. So that's how you get it. Now, next one. 36, 16, 64, 27. So when we did number classification, one thing I told you is when you have cases where you need to find odd one out in case of numbers, what do? The easiest thing to look at is even slash odd. After that, you can look at square roots or cube roots. But yeah, what's easier is square roots. So even, odd, square root, cube root, prime numbers. Look at all of these. If none of these work, then you can move on to whatever, trying to find a pattern or things of that sort. So we just start with the first, that is even, odd. Does this work? Yes, it works. We have gotten the answer already, 27, because 27 is the only odd number in this case. Right, Baki 3 will not work. It can actually, this can also be done using the second method, square. So here, 36 is the square of 6, 16 is the square of 4, 64 is the square of 8, but 27 is not the square of anything, right? So in that way also you can actually get 27. These are just two ways of doing the question. Don't worry, you will get it either way. Okay. Moving on. Here again, choose the odd one out. So here, okay, in this case I use this question because I think people have a thoda sa confusion. So here when you say 43-67, this is not your subtraction sign. All we mean is the range. Matlab 43 से 67 तक. It's the range that we are referring to. ठीक है? So it's 43 to 67. What we mean to refer to is just the range. So so yeah, in either case, since the range is given, now we'll try to, so basically we have 4 ranges. Now we see if the range is the same. How do you find the range? 43 to 67, you just subtract. 67 minus 43 kitna hai? 7 minus 3 is 4, 6 minus 4 is 2, 24. Okay, go on to the next one. 32 minus 40, just give me a second. 45 minus 32. 5 minus 2 is 3, 4 minus 2 is 1. Oh, this is not the same. So it could be that one of these are wrong, or it could be that our method of thinking is wrong. We will see. Now 65, 78. 78 minus 65. 8 minus 5 is 3, 7 minus 6. Okay, so now do you see this? We've gotten the same number. So our method of thinking seems to be right. So in that case, this would be the odd one out, but we'll just cross check with this. 89 minus 76. 10 minus 6 is 3, 8 minus 6 is 1. So right, we were right. So it was the range. The range was 13 in all other cases. Okay, so we have gotten the answer. Now, even if you thought of this to be a subtraction sign and just subtracted, phir bhi you will get the same answer. Like if you were to subtract 43 minus 67, what will you get? You will get minus 13, right? So you will get minus 13 in all these cases. So your answer will still be right, but I just meant to tell you guys that this is not subtraction. What we mean here is the range. Okay. Moving on, 156, 201, 273, 345. Again, order even works. 156 is the only even number. All three are odd, right? So, because it is even, this works. ठीक है, moving on, 11, 8, 14, 66. Again, in this case, order even, does it work? Yes, it works. 11 is the only odd number. Baki sab are even. Right, so it can actually, this works. Another thing, even if you were to look at it as prime numbers, this would also work. So it's mainly like an alternate method of doing the question, like we mentioned in the other case also. Which case was it? Yaha we said nay. Exact. Huh. This case may be said both of these work. Even odd works, square also works. Similarly, yahan bhi prime also works. 11 is a prime number. 11 is the only prime number. 8 is not a prime number. 14 is not a prime number. Neither is 66. So yeah, but even odd is like the easiest, right? So that works. Take it. Moving on. Choose the odd one out. K, Q, N, N, D, W, F, U, E, V, H, S, H, S, K, P. There seems to be no kind of formula or pattern for now. So, but I will tell you one thing. One thing that we can notice is here you have N is same. It might be of some use later on. We will see. See. PHAJKL. Okay, do you guys also see something? I just noticed this while just looking at the question. If you just read it, so see, whenever you see this question, just sort of read all options out. K, Q, N, N, D, W, F, U, E, V, H, S, H, S, K, P. Do you see something? Here, K, Q, N, N, D, W. I'll just write it in capital, like a bigger size, so you guys can maybe try to figure it out. But it's fine, even if you can't. Just see if you see anything, any specific pattern or like any letters that you're like very familiar with. I'll tell you what it is. K, N, D, F, E, H, H, K. As per the English alphabet, H, I, J, K, L, M, A, right? D, E, F. C, D, E, F, G, H, H, I, J, K. What is the number of letters in between here? 2. 2. 2. So the number of letters in between the first and the third letter is 2. Number of letters in between the first and the third letter is 2 in all cases other than the second case. So because of that, your second case is your odd one out. Now, see, you might not find this out at the beginning itself, and that's totally fine. You can go through the traditional method, like we said earlier, of just sitting and writing all the numbers. So you write. We've done that earlier. Where is it? Yeah, we write this, right. So you find the, okay, it was not here. I think we would have done that in the, yeah, it's here. So you write the corresponding number for each letter and then you try to figure out some pattern. You can also do it in that way. But when you have done enough questions, when you have good practice doing questions, just taking a good look at all the options will just strike something in your brain. You just take a good look at the options and you'll be like, oh, why not try that? Oh, this actually works. So it'll happen. It'll be easy once you do a couple of questions. Okay, you don't have to worry about anything. Moving on, now, okay, B, D, F, H, J, L, N, P, Y, O, I, C, R, T, V, X. One thing could be that this is the only thing that has vowels, right? None of the other options have vowels. But here it's like not one vowel, it's two vowels. That doesn't seem right. So we'll do one thing, we'll just go through our traditional method again just to see if we can find something. Okay. I think this much space will be enough. Okay. And O O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. ठीक है. So just write this 1 2 11 12 13 14 23 24 25 26. Okay, so now see B D F H. Oh, do you see a pattern? There's exactly one letter between all the letters. Do you have that in GLNP? Yes, JLNP. Oh, that's a very nice pattern. YOIC? No, it's YOIC seems like a very random collection of numbers. RTVX? Yes, RTVX. So it's YOIC. So actually what we said first about there being vowels is also right. It also works that way. So even if you thought, of just vowels, it would have worked. But yeah, this is like a more not sophisticated, but like a more structured way of looking at it. You have a proper reason why, right? You know that there is a certain pattern that's being followed. And so like also say what we mean by classification is you need to be able to classify all other options under some category, right? So here we have actually found that category. Okay, so that's how you do it. It was not necessary for us to sit and write this. We could have just looked at the number like we did in the previous case. You just look at the letters and B D F H. These seem similar. There's just one letter in between, so you can also do that. You don't always have to write this assortment of letters. I just did it now since you guys are just starting with this part. This, by the way, this thing where you write letters and their corresponding numbers, this is something that is very important. You will need it even for other chapters, for other kinds of exams also. So knowing this is useful. Also knowing, if you can learn a couple of, like, if you know that see A corresponds to 1, E to 5, and then J to 10, like if you know 1 5 10 15 20 26, just things like that, it'll make it much easier, because then you won't have to sit and write the whole thing. You can, like, for example, say if you know that J is 10, finding H as 8 is very easy, because H is just twice, like 2 times Y in J, right? So aisa, like if you can learn a couple of positions, then it will be much easier for you for the final exam. Okay. Moving on to the last set of questions under classification. Choose the odd one out. DHF, KOM, RVT, WYX. Again here, O is the only one with a vowel, so that does work essentially, but even otherwise, the same thing like we did earlier. See, you have D, A, B, C, D, E, F, one letter in between. H, I, J, K, L, M, one letter in between. Okay, but in that case, so here you have one letter in between, right? L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, again one letter in between. U, V, W, X, does not work. So it's actually not this. In fact, it is this. Okay, so that's why, see, the vowel thing, it's not a great way of looking at it. You can use it when you do not have any other way, but usually try to find a pattern. Classification is all about trying to find a pattern that you use to classify, right? So try to do this first, and then you can, if you don't get anything at all, vowels work. Like we saw in the last case, vowels actually worked, right? So, but keep that sort of like a last resort. Okay. Moving on, U, Q, G, J, G, R, and N, J. Okay, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Okay, there is a pattern between these. Between this and this, you have 3 letters. Between this and this, also 3 letters. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. There is the same pattern here. You have 3 letters in between the first and the last letter. The only place where the pattern does not hold is for J and G. So you know that the odd one out is J and, just give me a second. Yeah, so so what I'm saying is basically you know that the odd one out is J and G in this case. Okay. Sorry, not this one, J and G. Okay, because of this. So in that way we have done, we are also done with the example session of classification. I hope it has been a good session. Basically just classification in a sense is all about finding some common jar. I would call it a jar, some common jar you can put all other three options into, and then there will be one option which cannot enter that jar. This option will be your odd one out. Classification is just all about finding this jar. Once you can find the jar, you're done. It's very easy. It's in fact it's a very, even you would have seen the questions, right? It's a comparatively easy session, not session, sorry, it's a comparatively easy section. Once you do a couple of questions, you will be all good to go with this chapter. And yeah, that's it. We are done with classification for now.